So Meor, thanks for dropping by here, taking out from your busy workday. So Meor is author of Nuts about Data, right? A book where he talks about data and how people can go into the industry and how to use it, right? And also founder of Edsquare, AI for children. So let's talk a bit about Nuts about Data, right? I saw it at the bookstore.
Yep.
That got me reminded about you as well. Tell me a bit about the book and what's the goal of the book. Yeah.
So as I mentioned to you earlier, my experience or my working experience is in the B2B adult, in telecommunication solutions. So when I decided to venture into entrepreneurship and to look into education, so I thought that the natural place for me was to continue where I was, which is I already have clients, I already have people that I interact with, so I can provide education in data science and AI for this group. Mm-hmm. But the intention has always been for me to slowly move into the childhood education, because that has always been the number one area that I've wanted to be in. So that was the plan. So that was why I wrote Nuts About Data, to help non-technical professionals to understand enough data science and AI to be able to use them in their work. So it's like a gentle entry for them to enter into data science. So it can be non-technical professionals who do not intend to go into the technical side of data science and machine learning and AI, but just enough to be able to use it in their work, or even those who want to be data scientists or machine learning engineers that want to have that first introduction to these subjects before they go deep into the field. So those are the people that I wanted to help. But the funny thing is that there are throughout writing this book, I was looking for testimonials and asking for people to contribute and to give reviews about the book. And there are some of these reviews and testimonials that keep coming at me. They kept saying that, this resource is very good for young learners who like to learn data science. Okay. And at that time, because my interest was not on the young learners, at that time, so I thought that, maybe if you can review or change that testimonial to change it to adults, because I thought that that is where I wanted to be, right? But in the back of my mind, I thought that maybe that was an indication that, why not I go straight into childhood education and helping kids and also youths data science and AI.
So the pathway was very accidental.
Accidental, yeah. So it was something that I planned maybe after that I will reach maybe after 3 or 4 years, but yeah, accidentally I bumped into this space 6 months down the road.
How long did it take you to write the book?
It took me a few months, maybe 3 months.
3 months. Which is pretty quick, right?
Yeah, it's not a long read. Okay. So just a little over 100 pages. And yeah, I was inspired and influenced by this. I'm not sure, perhaps you know about this book, Who Moved My Cheese? Which uses a parable to teach change management. Yeah. So I read that book long time ago, and yeah, when I decided that I wanted to create some kind of content in data science, and writing a book was one of the consideration. I thought about that book, and I thought that it was very enlightening to me. So I thought of using that idea and use it in this book. And in fact, the original character of the book were mice, which is based on Who Moved My Cheese. But I thought that it's too similar. Maybe I changed to squirrels.
Okay. Yeah. The book itself, right? When you wrote the book, right? Yeah. Did you self-publish it, or do you?
Yeah, self-published.
You self-published it.
Self-published.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything you can share about the publishing world?
So to be frank, because for a first timer, you would feel that it's a very daunting process, and maybe it can be because you have never gone through that. And people always say that something is always hard until after you have done it, right? So after you have done it, actually it's very simple, because at this essence, it's just writing something on Microsoft Word and uploading it onto Amazon. That's it.
That's what you did?
That's what I did.
Okay.
Yeah, but of course there are other details behind it. For example, the formatting, the kind of content that you want to put, the editing process. So those are the things that come after that. But in principle, it's just because I self-published on Amazon, and it's a very simple process because on Amazon they have this. You have the ability to sell not just Kindle edition, but also paperback version, which is print on demand. So that means in any country where Amazon is available, that people can buy books. They can buy your books that you self-publish on Amazon. Just by uploading, like I said, Microsoft Word, literally Microsoft Word document. But like I said, of course, there are a lot of thought that need to go into that. Of course, it's not that simple. But I was just talking about the principle.
The initial step of going into it.
Because to help people who are probably afraid of doing self-publishing, right? So it's not that hard. But of course, publishing is just one part of it. The other part of it is how do you spread the word about the book? How do you market the book, and how do you let people know about the book? So that's the other part that, so you have to look for advice, you have to look for people who can help you in that journey. So I'm quite grateful, I'm quite fortunate to have this group of people that are also self-publishing authors that are willing to give honest review about the book on Amazon. So that's how I got the first few reviews, and that's where it started. So that's where people start to know about the book, and from there it grows.
So it's an organic growth?
Yeah, it's an organic growth, but you have to ignite it at the beginning.
So your book has been sold in some places like outside of Asia as well? So
in many countries.
Anyone actually wrote back to you, or? Yeah,
there are a few who especially again is back to what I was saying just now, because my intention was to help adults. But then a lot of feedback came that said that it's also going to be perfect for youths and kids as well. So that's one of the inspiration that I took when it comes for me to turn that into Alice Adventures in AI, which is what I have now.
So let's talk a bit about Edsquare, right? So when you created the book, it sort of gave you that accidental progress into starting Edsquare. So maybe you can tell us a bit about Edsquare and what you do at Edsquare, how the programs are done.
So the mission of Edsquare, or my mission with Edsquare, is that I want to be able to help kids prepare for the future, which is both exciting as well as challenging, especially when you talk about the age of AI. So there is this McKinsey report that says that in 10 years' time, which is 2030, so by that time my son will be 20, my daughter will be 19. So that will be the time that they are just probably about to enter university, or if universities are still around, to enter university, and for them to just go into their careers. And the report went on to mention that the impact of, or the amount of the magnitude of impact that AI will bring is around, if I recall correctly, is it's around 30 trillion, if I'm not mistaken. But the amount is the same as 16% of the total GDP of the world today. So it's like almost 20%. So that's from the economic standpoint, which is all fine. But if you look at it from the other point, which is the societal point of view, because you as a society, that means you'll be interacting with AI all the time. You'll probably have an AI as your co-worker. You'll have an AI making decisions for everything that you have in your life. So how do you deal with that? Because the world will be totally different. So that was the intention by building Edsquare, is to help kids when they become adult to be prepared with this kind of challenges and also exciting possibilities that they have to innovate and create as well. So it's both sides. So that was the intention. And how do I plan to bring it into something tangible is to provide. By the way, I believe that how we can help kids go along that path is the only way is through knowledge, by equipping them with knowledge. And so that's how Edsquare came about, because the idea is to provide them ways for them to learn about AI, technology, and even beyond in an enjoyable manner. So providing them with something that they love learning, something that they can be that they can enjoy learning, so that hopefully, I mean, it's not just stopping with Edsquare or anything, but hopefully they develop this this love of learning, and for them to be able to keep on learning, and for them to equip themselves properly to face the future.
Okay. I'm sure this comes in as a gap towards our current education system. Do you think our current education system provides enough like IT and also maybe AI learning courses at school?
So definitely not today, but the good thing is that there are plans. So I've been looking around, looking at different countries and how they approach this. And countries like Singapore, India, and United States are definitely making some strides in AI education. Not to say that they're already there, they are also just starting. So of course, Malaysia is not there yet, but I hope soon there will be some initiatives. And there are already plans being mentioned. It's now about putting that into practice. But it's not too late because everyone is just starting. Everyone is just realizing. Even in the United States, for example, they have this initiative called AI for K-12.
Okay.
So that they hope to bring AI education into the education. It's a long journey. It's not something that will happen overnight, but it's good that everywhere people are aware that acknowledge that AI education is important and cannot be neglected, because AI will be the fabric of our lives, if not today already, but definitely even more so in the future.
So you went for classes classes in machine learning and also data science, right? And I'm sure teaching adults and also children are totally different things. Can you explain or maybe give an example, right, of how you teach kids in Edsquare?
So in Edsquare, the approach that because it's back to my kids. So it's always it's all my kids that so if hopefully if it works for my kids, it will work for the others as well. So of course there are also other ways that I would like to try this with other kids as well. But just judging by how my kids react to the content that I developed, so that's why also with the course that going a bit, taking one step backward. So with Edsquare, the first product that I'm going to launch is called Alice Adventures in AI. So it is an online course that is unplugged. That means it doesn't involve coding. So the reason why it's unplugged is not because the only content or the kind of education program that I will ever create is nothing to do with coding, but it's just for those who would like to have a gentle introduction into machine learning and data science and AI. I believe that a good starting point is to have something that doesn't have anything to do with computing, because it will attract those who are technically savvy or technically inclined, but probably not the others. So so when I created that content, so I have this nuts about data as the backbone. So and seeing that the concept of storytelling in nuts about data really struck a chord with adults. If it works for adults, then even more so with kids, because like with my kids, they really love reading books, listening to stories. So stories have this very universal appeal to everyone, and even more so for kids. So the moment they hear about the story, they want to understand the story, they want to follow it until the conclusion, they root for the character, and so on and so forth. So that's why I embed this concept of storytelling and Alice Adventures in AI, and wrap it around all the technical concepts around machine learning and data science, so that they can learn these concepts without realizing that they've learned it.
It becomes part of the journey as well.
Yeah.
Right. So storytelling is important for kids, as you say, right? For children, as you say. And I think it's also really important when it comes to data visualization and also in the corporate setting as well. Do you have any experience on that from your past work experience? Storytelling and also visualizing data?
In fact, that is one of my main area of work when I was working with the previous company. So that company provides engineering solutions for the telecommunications industry, basically to help telcos, solution providers to improve the network, to give better service for the customers. And in that journey and in that kind of in the different things that's available in the network, with whatever information overload that is there, all the data that's available, it's not about what data you have or what kind of analytics that you provide. It's about how you turn that into something that is actionable, that you can convince your management or your bosses to take an action based on the data. Because a lot of times when you talk about using data as a way to generate insights or to find something new when it comes to doing things, or in this case improving the network for better service for the customers, it's not always obvious that whatever that you're recommending is going to work out, because there's a lot of experimentation, as you know, in data science. There's a lot of things that you don't know beforehand, that only after you have implemented it, then only you iterate, and finally you reach the stage where you can deliver some value. So that's when data storytelling is very important, because it's about using whatever that you've found from the data and whatever that the data generates into something that you can use to convince the stakeholders or whatever managers that are involved to be able to approve of what you are going to do.
Right.
So yeah, data storytelling is it's really important. It cannot be, you cannot go any other way.
Okay, interesting. So with children, right, they absorb knowledge like a sponge, right?
Yeah.
And what Edsquare is doing is basically setting out the foundations for them, right?
Yeah.
Do you think when it comes to adult learners, right? I mean, you yourself is a good example of when you learn all those, when you pick up like data science or even AI courses at the later stage, right? Do you think it's harder for them to pick up, especially for those who have no technical background, no programming background, to suddenly just go and pick up data science? Do you think it's going to be a tough uphill battle for them to learn or pick up data science?
If I draw from my own experience, I will learn the most and I will get the most learning whenever I am passionate or I really care about the subject matter or the domain. So like in my initial case 10 years ago, when I wanted to do neuroprosthetics, I was very pumped up to do machine learning for building limb prosthetics. But because of a different reason, because I saw that my son was not really needing that at that point, so my interest dwindled, and along with that my interest in machine learning also dwindled.
Okay.
So only from a couple or 3 years back, when I revived my interest in machine learning, so the reason that drove me to gain an interest in machine learning is because first, telecommunications, back to industry. I wanted to do something to do with IoT, so that is an area that I'm interested even till today. And even, of course, how to use this to be able to help kids learn programming, to be able to help kids learn about computer science and all this. So those are the reasons why I revived my interest in this subject. So if you have a reason bigger than data science or machine learning itself, then I think it will be easier for anyone to pick up. Because so I don't think it's definitely it's not easy, but it's just going to take some time for someone to be able to build competencies. It's not going to happen overnight. But if you have that other driving factor, there's something that you care about, something that you are really interested in, when you want to, where you want to apply these learnings, right? Then it becomes something that can carry you through, especially during the dark times.
Right. What do you think drives most people to pick up data science right now? Because of fear, or adults who are working already and they want to go into data science, AI, machine learning. What do you think drives them to do it?
So I think today there is this pressure definitely in working individuals that the bosses keep saying that, you have to use data, you have to be able to generate insights from the data, and then how do I do it? Yeah. So that's one. There's also the other angle, or the other group of people that want to go into this area because of the passion about the technology itself, which is fine also. So they're interested about machine learning. They see is something that is very interesting to them. So I think whatever angle you're coming from, again back to what I was saying earlier, I think if you have that real why, the strong why, reason why you want to learn about this. So all this push from the boss or interest about the technology will help you take the first few steps, but I don't think it will be able to help you to carry you through, because that's what happened to me. So between 2013 to probably 2016, 17, I didn't touch machine learning at all because I didn't have the reason why. Only recently that I picked the reason why, then only I built up that competencies again.
So I think that makes a lot of sense. I think looking at students coming to the class, right? I think all of them have their own set of whys and the real reason why they come into a class. I mean, of course, some initial reasons would be, I need to learn some data skills for my career and all that, but there's always that deeper why like you have mentioned. What do you think are the most in-demand data science or AI roles right now in the market? I mean, you went to like authoring books and also creating your own business, right? But for some other people, what do you think are other options for them in this exciting field?
I remember this recent report that I read from the World Economic Forum. So the title of the report is The Future of Jobs, if I'm not mistaken. So it listed 7 key clusters of jobs that are going to be the most in demand in 2022. So it's not like further in the future, it's 3 years. It's very practical. So 2 of them is AI and also data science. And they are by far the 2 leading ones out of the 7. So the demand is there. Definitely people are going to look for these talents. But also interestingly also because of the pandemic, another stat that I just saw, I think towards the end of last month, it's just less than 2 weeks back, saying that for the first time since 2010, the interest in so it was measured based on the number of job vacancies offered in AI positions. It has actually dropped. So of course, one of the reasons is because of the pandemic, without a doubt. But also the other reason is because there are a lot of so that statistic or that commentary went on to explain that the other reason was because AI these days, a lot of organizations pick up AI because it sounds fancy, because there is a need for them to, I need to have an AI. You need to have an AI as part of what they offer, part of their technology engine, whatever that they have. So there is this push, there is this need to have that somehow, somewhere there, even though it's not generating something useful or tangible in terms of ROI. But now with the pandemic, they realize that there are a number of things that they need to cull. And of course, those that do not provide clear ROI will be the first ones that they will remove from whatever the agenda that they have in the coming years. So now if you couple with what the findings from the World Economic Forum about the increase of demand with the reality today with post-pandemic, I think the perfect role or the kind of jobs that will be in demand in data science and AI will be data scientists, data analysts, or data engineer who have this business acumen, who will be able to not just build models, but also use them to justify, to be able to have some kind, I don't know, I mean, it doesn't have to be extensive, but some kind of business acumen that can help them show this, whatever that they're building in terms of business value to the management. So I think those kind of skills will be really crucial in this time and age, especially in the next few years.
Okay. Big question, huh?
Yeah.
Do you think everyone should pick up skills in data science and AI?
I think everyone should know enough. Yeah, because for me, data science or data literacy or AI literacy is like financial literacy.
Okay, like personal finance, which is very important for everyone.
Yeah, financial
right?
literacy. So you don't have to be an expert in finance, but everyone should have a basic fundamentals in finance to be able to survive or thrive in this world. Yeah, to get on with their life. So everything around this world is about finance. You cannot run away from that, right? So it's not yet to that extent today, but I believe it will be in the future, that AI and data will be all around us. It's already there, but it's going to be even more. So there will be demand. So if you're working for a company, there will be demand for a data-enabled or data-literate worker to if you are looking for positions, and even if you're running a business, you know better than me, the need for you to rely on data to grow your business. So so for me, data literacy, if not already, will become like financial literacy, where everyone should have a basic fundamental idea.
So to put it into literal terms, that means everyone should understand how data works and all that, but not necessarily have to do the programming part of it,
Yeah,
the technical part of
definitely.
it.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, which brings me to another stat that I found interesting as well. This was a job, a breakdown of job openings that were tracked in the US. I think this was a few years back, maybe 2 years back, but I believe it's still relevant today. So it was broken down into two main categories. So the first category is your technical guys, so that data science, data scientists, machine learning engineers. So those kind of needs or vacancies that are, or job openings that are available. So actually those make up only 25 or 20% of the whole spectrum. But the bulk of it requires functional analysts or managers or business analysts. I think that's how they term it, that are data enabled. So those are not the programmers. Those definitely are not people who get their hands dirty. But those are the people that probably know enough to be able to use data in their day-to-day work. So those group make actually the bulk of the whole.
I think that's a very important point, because a lot of people they are afraid of going to data science and the data world just because they thought they do not know how to do programming, so they just totally give up the whole thing and the whole idea of going to it. But like what you said, they can actually be inside the industry, knowing enough, but not necessarily have to do the technical work of programming and all that technical stuff. All right, I have one last question for you. Normally, I don't like to look back and say I regret my life or regret something I've done. But if you can look back like 10 years ago, right, where you started off picking up machine learning and more, what would you change? Or what would you tell your younger self?
So I would tell the same thing that I mentioned earlier, is that find something that you really care about. Because that will be the one that will drive you through thick and thin, through whatever challenges that you face. So you have something that you care about and build something around it. And whatever skills that you want to build, whatever competencies that you want to build, have something that you care about, because that's what happened to me, right? So I dropped that interest in data science midway because I didn't feel that is serving me what I needed at the moment, at that time, I'm sorry. So the moment I saw the need, and I saw because the other reason is because as my son grew up and he's now 10, so in a couple of years he picked up an interest in programming and doing coding using this Scratch.
Good for you.
Yeah, so he's quite into it, not really into it, but quite into it. So I thought that maybe I should maybe get him to learn machine learning and AI as well. So that's the reason why the other reason why I picked up this subject again. So yeah, if you have a reason why you do something, then it's easy for you. Everything will be clear to you.
Okay. Yeah. I'm going to challenge one more question from you. So you talk about finding that reason and also the why, right? Now, how do we find that reason and how do we find that why?
Trial and error. So we won't find it immediately.
Right.
So like for me, it's funny because I found it already 10 years ago. But I didn't know it back then. So I dropped it. I went on search. I did a number of things in between. And 10 years back, I saw myself back to square one. I mean, it's like a full circle. But I think it's a journey that everyone has to take. I mean, in anything that you do in life, you have to explore things, you have to try things. It doesn't work out, it works out. But you have to try different things. Then only you'll probably find it one day. So there are some people who are lucky who found it straight away. So for example, there are some people who say that, I received my first computer at the age of 10 and I got into programming. It's like love at first sight. So that kind of scenario is also there. So it's good for them. But there are some, I believe most people, that need to go on search to find what they really care about before they eventually reach there.
So I think in conclusion, the journey for everyone is totally different. Yeah. So to find your own pathways and enjoy the journey itself.
Enjoy the journey, yes.
Yeah, okay.
To get the book, you can get it from Amazon, from any Amazon stores worldwide. And if you're in Malaysia, you can get it from any major bookstores, MPH, Kinokuniya, and all the popular and all the other major bookstores as well. So with Ali's Adventures in AI, which is the first product that we are launching soon with Edsquare, you can find it from www.edsquare.co. where you can find further details. So that course is meant as a fun introduction for kids between 7 to 12 years old who wants to get their feet wet into AI and data science. So it will teach these concepts in a fun way via a storytelling approach. Unplugged, there's no coding involved. So that means the kids and also even the parents and the teacher who are guiding them hopefully can have fun as well and learn the subject as well. So that's how you can find it.
All right. Thank you so much for joining me and your time as well.
Thanks for having me.
All right.